Welcome to Round 5 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of August 15th. I'm Catherine Alecko, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
Nicole Eridix is away this week, so we're once again just dreaming about all the things that she would be recommending if she were here.
She's going to have a long list.
Yes, when she comes back. Well, but today we're taking a break from talking and complaining and obsessing and instead shouting out things other people are doing that we think you'll find as useful or enjoyable as we do. And if you listened to yesterday's podcast, none of this is sponsored. This is our own. These are our own picks that we have acquired with our own money when they cost money, which mine doesn't. So,
but if these places want to make a deal, we'd be happy to mention them every week.
That's right. So the thing I'm going to mention is free. So you don't have. They haven't paid me, and you don't have to pay them to follow Knuckle Bump Farms on Instagram. Ooh. So this I feel like has been all over like. This, they have something like 750,000 followers on Instagram, so it's not, big news for me to share this. But you haven't heard of it, so there you go.
I have not heard of it. No.
Okay, so this is this farm in South Florida, and this woman who runs the Instagram, I guess. The grandparents, it's her grandparents' farm, but she, works there and she does all their social media. And so it's just pictures of cute animals all the time, but also there are a few emus on this farm. And there's one named Emmanuel who has become like Instagram and TikTok famous because he'll like peck at the camera. He'll like come right up and stare at the phone when she's recording. And sometimes she's yelling at him, to stop. And, she'll be like, Emmanuel, don't do it. Emmanuel, don't do it. Don't do it. And every parent of a toddler can relate to this. So yeah, it's big on TikTok, but I'm not a TikTok person. So, you can get all the same stuff on Instagram, I believe. Oh. And it's also prolific. So if anytime, during the day that you need a little hit of like cute little baby cows or they have deer that like to eat grapes and, and every day you check in with Emmanuel and see what he's up to. So it's very fun. Knuckle Bump Farms on Instagram.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Nice.
And what do you have for us this
Should have
week?
done Catherine's Instagram.
That's right.
Well, I finally caught up with the movie Licorice Pizza, which came out last year but was only in theaters for quite some time. And I just happened to notice last week that it was on Amazon Prime, and I was so excited. I was going to watch this. I was interested in it because it takes place in the San Fernando Valley in 1973, and one of the characters is 15 years old, and I was 14 years old in 1973, and I lived just over the hill from the San Fernando Valley, so it seemed like, well, this is maybe my youth a little bit. And I recognize the name of the movie is the same name as a chain of record stores in Southern California at that time. So whenever I hear that, I think of that time and that chain of stores, and it actually has absolutely no appearance in the movie whatsoever. There is nothing happening at those record stores. But Paul Thomas Anderson, the director, has mentioned that he sort of just put that in there for the vibe of that time. Okay. And it is, I really enjoyed it. It is long and it is very rambling. And about an hour in, I looked at the fact that there was more than an hour left and thought, what is this? Do I really want to just stay for this ride? And I did. And by the end, I really loved it. And I have gone back and watched the trailer an embarrassing number of times just to get another little hit of it. It's sort of like a bunch of short stories involving these same characters. Okay. It's very episodic. So if you can just take it like that, it's not going a specific place. It's just showing us a bunch of things that happen. And the performances are wonderful. Alana Haim from the band Haim is in it. And in fact, her sisters are in it playing her sisters, and her parents are in it playing her parents. So there's a whole Haim thing going on.
Okay.
And so she plays a 25-year-old woman who comes into the orbit of this 15-year-old child star played by Cooper Hoffman, who is the son of Philip Seymour Hoffman. And just a real presence. And people are uncomfortable with it's not really a romance between them because of the age difference, but she's definitely drawn into his orbit. He's a very mature and driven 15-year-old, and she's a less mature and aimless 25-year-old. And so she's definitely not the dominant one in the relationship.
Right.
And it's just, she sort of falls in with him and his friends. They go to New York. She's his chaperone for a trip having to do with some actor stuff. And then he starts a waterbed company. And another time he starts
Speaking of the 70s.
Speaking of the 70s, exactly. It's sort of loosely based on a child actor who grew up to be a partner of Tom Hanks in his movie company. And apparently all these things actually happened to him. But there are cameos by Sean Penn as a character clearly based on William Holden. And Tom Waits is in that scene as a kind of a crazy director setting up this motorcycle jump. It's very odd. And there's a time where they deliver a waterbed to John Peters, and it's actually, that's the name of the character. Most of the characters, they changed the names. So they actually called this character John Peters. And he was so John Peters-y that it took me a while to realize, actually took me Googling the scene to realize that it was Bradley Cooper. He was so fantastic in it. It was so fun. Such a fun performance. So it's just a bunch of stuff. And you just kind of amble on through it with the characters. The performances are delightful. The characters are fun and different. And it's just go with it, I definitely recommend it. If I didn't live close enough to the Valley to actually be doing a lot of things these characters were doing, seeing the things they were seeing. We just went into the Valley to buy school clothes, basically. And then we scurried back to Thousand Oaks. But it's definitely, they have the lines at the gas station that we had back then. And lots of sort of current things. And also and it's also one of those movies that's fun afterwards to Google reviews of, and to, Google articles like all the real life characters that were in this movie. You go, oh, that person was really a person. Anyway, it's very fun. And, you may at first be thinking, where, if anywhere, is this going? Just go for the ride. You know what? It's a bus trip with a lot of nice scenery out the window. Maybe it just circles around back to your house at the end, but it's a lot of fun. And the whole kind of the middle of the movie, I think, is this set piece with John Peters and all the things that go after that. It's pretty hilarious. Right. So anyway, Licorice Pizza. If you have Amazon Prime, it's there. Go watch it. And I can see where I think I understand why he kept it in theaters. The director, Paul Thomas Anderson, kept it in theaters for a long time because it would be fun to watch with a bunch of people who are enjoying it.
Right.
I can see that would be different than watching it on a computer on your sofa.
Right.
But fun. I don't think I've ever actually seen anything else by Paul Thomas Anderson. I've read about his movies, but I don't think I've ever actually seen them. I wonder if they are all of this sort of structure.
Well, I've seen Magnolia, but it's been a long time. But it does sound a little reminiscent of... Yeah. Not very super plotty, but more all about the mood.
Yes, that is very much the case.
Right.
And it's very fun. Go watch it. But know that,
Right, this is what you're getting.
You have to relax and go with it.
Yeah.
And just really enjoy the performances by the two leads. They're fantastic, and I look forward to seeing more from them.
Well, thank you for that recommendation, and that's it for another week of Parenting Roundabout. If you missed any of our earlier episodes this week, you can look them up on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts to hear what we had to say about our kids making us proud. home ownership, the joys thereof, and sponsored life events. You can also find all our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there, on our Facebook page, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat. And please visit our Amazon shop at amazon.com/shop/mamatude, where you can find links to a lot of the things we talk about. Have a great weekend and see you back here on Monday.